It's Monday Tonight we have something very special, very different for me, but it's going to be a very special show. Very special guest, which he brought a very special guest, and we have another special guest after that. So, but before we get started, I'm going to go through my week. First of all, I want to send my biggest thanks to a man that I have so much respect for, and I just admire so much. Neville Chesters, which was on last week, who was the road manager for Jimi Hendrix, The Who, Cream. We worked with Brian Epstein. The man is just a walking encyclopedia of top knowledge of the highest rock stars in the world. I mean, he was amazing, and we didn't even break the ice with him. So by popular demand, you cannot believe the amount of emails, and we got blown up with emails to have him back. So we are going to have Neville back on October 22nd. He will be here again, and we will start. We didn't even scratch the surface. So Neville, you're my brother. I love you so much, and I respect you so much, and thank you for coming in last week. I also want to, and by the way, we're not sure about this, but Godfrey Townsend, which you all know, also gave me an email about maybe coming on with Neville. So that's a possibility of another show, too, the both of them. So that'll be phenomenal, because if you guys know Godfrey, he's our American Eric Clapton. So that'll be amazing. I also, once again, I have to give my grandson, Jaden, a shout-out. Incredible game he played the other night. They won 27, the Bulldogs, 27-7. He had 16 tackles, recovered a fumble, scored twice. Amazing. Jaden, I love you, buddy. Saturday, we had our annual Rust Stock, which is a little our party on Woodstock. We have it once a year at actually my lead guitarist's house, Russell. And that was an unbelievable. It was just a gathering of great musicians in the backyard, old-time barbecue, and let it rip. It was amazing. Russell, I can't thank you enough for having us. We had a blast. You and I, right, my brother? We had a blast. And I also would like to wish two very, very close friends. Actually, they bought me this right here. Dominic and Teresa Mandarino. And I would really like to thank Teresa, because being that she screamed at me in the car on the way home, I am going to put your name out there. So, Teresa, I would like to personally thank you for being the only one to keep up with the Woodstock pace by stripping down, nude, and jumping in the pool to keep the Woodstock spirit intact. Only kidding. Only kidding. Don't get excited. It was a joke, Teresa. But you got what you wanted. So that was an amazing day. We had a lot of fun, a lot of great people, a lot of great musicians, and a great day. October 1st, we have some big news here at Madhouse TV, and we're waiting on that. You're going to get a big explosion of news about that, and that'll be coming up shortly. But right now, I think we're going to, before I introduce my guests, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to come back. So everybody sit back, get yourself tight, get excited. This show is, I will admit, I don't know a lot about jazz, but I love all types of music. And I have probably the greatest person in the world that's going to sit here, explain it to me. And he has, his list of things that this man has done is just totally amazing, and we're gonna find out a lot about Mr. Todd Barkin when we get back from this commercial. So hang in there, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Mickey B, the Prince
Welcome
of
to
Rock.
Formula Auto Wash, where every day is a great day for a car wash. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. Sundays 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Detailing packages for every budget, starting out at $29.99. 100% hand wash and detail centre. Hog's hair and microfiber brushes and mitts. Proudly using Ecolab Blue Coral soaps and waxes. Formula Auto Wash has served the community for over 30 years. Senior discounts all day, every day. Ladies' Day Wednesday, $3 off any wash. Early bird discount Monday through Thursday till 9:30 a.m. Check out our website, formulaautowash.com.
Hi, this is Mickey B. Join me for my Saturday Night Disco Fever Dance Party Volume 2, Saturday, October 6th, 8 p.m. at the Memorare Ballroom, 2183A Jackson Avenue, Seaford. Starring live Alicia, Barbara Roy, former lead singer of Ecstasy, Passion and Pain, the Trick Shot Disco Orchestra, and DJ Ace playing all your favorite hits of the 70s. 5-hour disco party, full hot buffet, cash bar. For tickets and information, call 516-822-9612, 516-822-9612, or MickeyB.com. Sponsored by.
About selecting the perfect paving stones for our project.
There are so many choices, I didn't want to make a mistake.
After all, it is our home.
It had to be the most beautiful patio.
An exquisite driveway.
A stunning backyard oasis.
I chose Astro for the largest selection.
The best prices.
The magnificent displays.
The finest service and expert advice.
I chose
Astro.
Astro Masonry and Supply. Call 631-242-2567 or go to astromasonry.com.
We are back with the Maverick Soul. And I'll tell you, folks, we got a great show tonight. Something different for me, something different for you. But not for you jazz fans, because I have for you a treat of a lifetime sitting right next to me. I have right here Mr. Todd Barkin, which, Todd, I appreciated so much you coming in. And for you people that might not know Todd, let me give you a little background. First of all, he is a director and the voice of jazz for Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola at Jazz and also at Lincoln Center. So, I mean, how much higher does it get than Lincoln Center and Dizzy Gillespie's place? Right, Todd?
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't get much bigger than that. And I read something the other day when I was going through some notes and that. Is that actually Tony Bennett's favorite room in the world?
What's his favorite club in New York and one of his favorite places in the whole world.
Yeah.
And he comes there regularly.
Yeah. So obviously you know Tony Bennett.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's
Well,
a very wonderful guy who loves jazz music.
There's not
so
too many
much.
people you don't know, right?
Well, I know a good number of folks.
We're going to start. We're going to go back with Todd a little bit and go back to his past. you started playing as a young boy, right?
Yeah, I started playing the piano when I was 5 and 6 years old.
Right.
Started taking lessons and learning, teaching
And
little
this was
fingers
in-
to play.
In
Columbus, Ohio,
Columbus, Ohio.
where I grew up. I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska.
That's what I was looking for.
And my dad was on the GI Bill, and so I grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts for the first 3 years. Then he moved to his hometown of Columbus, Ohio, and I grew up there, and that's where I learned to really love jazz music. It was a lot in my home, and it was in the environment. It was in the environment in Columbus.
Crimson Tide, right?
Ohio State Buckeyes.
Buckeyes, yeah. Two of my best friends went there.
Yeah. But there was a lot of jazz on the radio and it being played live, and that it was a very, very active, arts community, and there was a lot of music in Ohio and the Midwest at that time. A lot of organ clubs, which
Right.
are thousands of organ clubs in this world that were a hotbed for jazz music, and a very important kind of an unsung history of the jazz world.
What years was this now?
Well, I was born in '46, so I mean in the '50s and early '60s was when I was exposed to jazz, and that was a great time for the music.
Right.
It was
So that was kind of the
fantastic
same time as like the beatnik kind of thing going on.
Oh
the
yeah,
folk stuff going
yeah.
on.
The hippies were starting to be in flower,
right.
and I went to Oberlin College, and then I wound up going, the summer of love to San Francisco, and I played as a jazz pianist and worked as a customs broker, and I was in an Afro-Cuban band, and I went to this rock club. It was asked for a gig, and the guy says, "I hate jazz." He says, "I can't stand it, but I'm going to open up a rock club in Berkeley. Why don't you buy this club?" And I said, "I've only got $8,000. I was a piano player and a customs broker." He said, "Well, come back here Thursday," and I was 25 years old. So it was 1972, and I was 25 years old, and I was just getting my feet wet as a professional musician. I was playing in San Francisco, and I came back, and he said, "Well, I'll sell you the club for $12,500. It has a beer license, and I'll take $5,000 down, $400 a month for a few years, and I've got a Friday and Saturday booking with these guys named Jerry Garcia and Merle Saunders."
I was waiting. I wanted to say it, somebody beat me to it, but your first act was Jerry Garcia, right?
Jerry Garcia and Merle Saunders were my first band.
Wow.
And I'll never get over that as long as I live, because there was one guy that Jerry Garcia had with him who did nothing but roll joints all day and all night, and he would dip them in hash oil.
Oh,
and he would smoke.
I read about that.
And he would smoke 2 or 3 joints, at a time, and so they did some rather lyrical, expansive sets, and for two full nights, and it was quite an experience. And then from then on, we had a jazz-only policy, but that's how we got launched. And Jerry Garcia had a place in the neighborhood among a lot of places he stayed, and he would come back very regularly, as would Carlos Santana. And there was a love, and there wasn't as much isolation then between the genres of music and the players. We had a lot of great rock and roll and blues and R&B players coming into that club all the time and hanging out and being a part of our music.
Well, Jerry did have a very wide spectrum of music. I mean,
he played all kinds of music, and he loved all kinds of music.
Yes.
He was a real lover and participant in the music scene, and you never felt any distance with Jerry Garcia. He was a guy he was a guy who was comfortable in any kind of environment.
Wow.
He was just a beautiful human being, and that was our environment, And Carlos Santana loved John Coltrane, so he would come and hear McCoy Tyner and Elvin Jones, and it became a legendary jazz club. It was in North Beach in San Francisco, and it was a hippie club. I mean, it was really the only psychedelic jazz club that ever was of any consequence.
Wow.
And there were mandalas on the walls, and I had air purifiers coming down from the ceiling, air purifiers that would take pot smoke out of the air, and so that even the people right in front of you would, everything would...
Like the old Fillmore.
Yeah, it would clean up the environment.
And that was Keystone Corner?
That was Keystone Corner. It was called that because it was next door to the Keystone Cops. So the old Max Sennett, Keystone Cops, the old...
Yeah, you guys should Google that. it's quite an amazing story. It truly is. I mean, he's a pioneer at what he's done. I mean, let's face it, you were there at the get-go, really, right?
Yeah, it was an era that was very important in our music, the 70s. It hasn't gotten its due because, you know, there was a lot more attention given to the 60s and then in later years, but the 70s was a very vital time for our music. It kind of got stereotyped as a time when some fusion came, also joined the music. Right. But that was only a small part of what jazz music was all about. And there were some of the greatest players doing some of their greatest playing, some of their hardest swinging, most intense playing, and the scene was, you know, very vital. And John Coltrane was, you know, his influence was being felt at that time. And Cannonball Adderley played until the middle 70s. Rosson Roland Kirk and Art Blakey and Dexter Gordon, and every week there was, you know, there were great players. You could book just one after another. George Benson would be followed by Art Blakey, would be followed by Elvin Jones, one after another every single week of the year. You know.
That kind of was like the jazz club of the Fillmore.
Right.
You could go there and see 5 big name acts at $3.
Yeah, on New Year's Eve I had, you know, I had to have a bill like Dexter Gordon's quintet and Bobby Hutcherson quintet and Max Roach, and then they would all play together on one night. So it was like a very important artistic institution of its time. It was a home away from home for jazz musicians. And during the 70s here in New York, there were some cabaret problems. There were things going on, and there was, you know, the environment wasn't, you know, quite as warm, and the Keystone Corner was an important home away from home for a lot of New York musicians. Mm-hmm. So they would come out and work for 2 weeks, even 3 weeks sometimes, and so we were very fortunate and to play an important role. We were part of the history of the music at that time.
Your place must have been like the scene at that time, right?
It was
on the jazz end of it.
It was considered to be like the best jazz club in the world of its time. Yeah. You know, that's what people like Art Blakey and Dexter Gordon and Stan Getz said. This is the best jazz club in the world at its, you know, in its day.
Yeah, well, that's something to be very proud of. I mean,
and we're very proud of the fact that, you know, I mean, even though it's kind of surprising there was nothing written about the club very much after it closed. It closed in the early 80s, but there just a book has just been published about Keystone Corner,
which I happen to have right in front of me here. The name of the book is Portrait of a Jazz Club, Keystone Corner, and I would suggest for any of you that are into jazz or any of you just musicians that are into music entirely, this book is incredible. The pictures and the people. I don't know if we can get a shot of some of these people. I mean, everyone is in this book. Everyone. Amazing book. So, let me. This is actually a picture of Todd in his younger years.
That's my Elliott Gould period right there.
So,
wait, you got to still turn it.
Let me give you that shot again. That's my man Todd right there in the day. So, pick up a copy of this book, and where can they get this, Todd?
Oh, Amazon.com is the easiest place to get it.
Amazon.com, Portrait of a Jazz Club, Keystone Corner. Very interesting, very great reading, incredible pictures. It's a must-buy. Please pick it up, Amazon.com, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. This book is phenomenal. I mean, it weighs a ton. I mean, it's not no cheap.
It's kind of an important
The
document.
pictures are, I mean, Miles Davis, you got, everyone's in here. Everyone. Incredible.
Yeah, and Keystone Corner is spelled with a K. Keystone Corner, because of the Keystone Cops. You know.
The Keystone Cops. Keystone Corner, go out and buy it. It's a great book. So, San Francisco, we got through how many years did that go on?
1972 to 1983, and it was a very vital time. I mean, there was a lot going on. Bill Graham was doing amazing things. Bill Graham was one of my heroes. I mean, Bill Graham and George Wein, who was a great promoter back here in New York, were two of my heroes. And Bill Graham helped us out at Keystone Corner, and George Wein was doing great jazz festivals all over the world at that time. So it was a time of real history. And I met George Wein when I was just like 14 years old. I met him at a jazz festival in Ohio, and he was one of the people that inspired me, you know, to be a jazz promoter,
right,
you know, to be an impresario, and because there aren't that many role models you can look to in our field.
So with the club, what happened with the club? Did you
well,
fold
they had
it?
Yeah, I had
sold it, or
you know it folded because we couldn't renew it. They wanted to increase the lease by tenfold, and it was just a little too much to negotiate.
So the next move was New York?
Yeah, I came to New York after that. Okay. And just because I was a record producer, a CD record producer, even CDs had even started by then. But I became more and more of an active jazz record producer, you know, and did that a lot for the next 20 years. I also found time to manage the Boys Choir of Harlem for a number of years.
I've seen them at least 4 times. I've seen them. Incredible.
And I got them out on the road, and we did work with Kenny Burrell and Kathleen Battle, and we did a whole lot of stuff with them. And I continued to work with a lot of artists that I love and adore. So it's a real labor of love. I mean, it's something you do because you want to do it, and because it means something to you. And sometimes you make money, and sometimes you don't. That's the nature of it. But you have to be dedicated to really be effective in our business. You have to really be dedicated. And there are no overnight successes. You know? But
no matter how you look at it, you're doing something that you truly love, and
that's
not many
right.
people can say that. So you're a very blessed man.
Very lucky.
Very blessed man.
I feel fortunate every day because, I mean, to have done things close to my dreams in life and being able to live a few of those dreams.
Yes.
I mean, the day that I remember when I woke up the day after I bought Keystone Corner, I said to myself, what am I doing? You know, I couldn't, it was like it was surrealistic, you know, because I knew nothing about running a business.
Right.
I sure as heck didn't know anything about running a bar.
I know the feeling because I ran a pretty big business myself, and I felt the same like why me, you know, but I made it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was destined to happen, so I went with it, and many times I think I was too much of a purist for my own good, or too you know, really intensively dedicated to the art itself, and it didn't pay enough attention to what was maybe commercially viable. But I'm very proud, even keeping a jazz club open for 11 years.
Oh.
And I've worked at Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola, you know, for
that's where I wanted to go next. I mean, how did that happen?
Well, Wynton Marsalis, who's the overall artistic director of Jazz Lincoln Center and the founder of Jazz Lincoln Center, had played at Keystone Corner with Art Blakey, the legendary drummer, and he was searching for somebody to help. The club was about to open, and he was looking for somebody to come work at Jazz Lincoln Center who was dedicated to jazz. Mm-hmm. And he needed people who were lifers, jazz lifers.
So, a friend of mine actually played drums for him, Vinlo Odom.
Vinlo Odom.
Do you remember that name?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But
he's from Amityville.
But Wynton brought me on board at Jazz Lincoln Center, and so I've been working there for 12 years at Jazz Lincoln Center. We opened up Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola in 2004. So
and you want to tell everybody the address to that? So
yeah, Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola is at Time Warner Center at Columbus Circle, 60th and Broadway. It's open 7 nights a week with the greatest music in the world, great jazz music, 7 nights a week, 51 weeks a year. Closed for 1 week in the summer for a little maintenance, but
any big shows coming up there?
Oh, we got great shows coming up all the time. The legendary Pharoah Sanders, who played with John Coltrane, is there this week, Thursday through Sunday.
Beautiful.
A lot of great music there every night of the week.
I'm sorry that we didn't get to your birthday party because we were up at the Woodstock Festival reunion. But one of these days we'll definitely come in and see you and spend some time with you. But we're going to go to commercial. We're going to come back, and we have only just begun.
Right,
We have a long way to go with Mr. Todd Barkin, and we're going to be back in just a moment with the Maverick Soul. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
I was nervous about selecting the perfect paving stones for our project.
There are so many choices, I didn't want to make a mistake.
After all, it is our home.
It had to be the most beautiful patio.
An exquisite driveway.
A stunning backyard oasis.
I chose Astro for the largest selection.
The best prices.
The magnificent displays.
The finest service and expert advice.
I chose
Astro.
Astro Masonry and Supply. Call 631-242-2567 or go to astromasonry.com.
Suffolk County Gold Refinery for the highest paid prices for your gold, diamonds, and jewelry with cash on the spot. Visit their showroom for unbelievable prices on fine jewelry and engagement rings. 71 Millbar Boulevard, Farmingdale, 631-777-CASH. Suffolk County Gold Refinery for the highest paid prices for your gold, diamonds, and jewelry with cash on the spot. Visit their showroom for unbelievable prices on fine jewelry and engagement rings. 71 Millbar Boulevard, Farmingdale, 631-777-CASH. For the highest paid prices for your gold, diamonds, and jewelry with cash on the spot. Suffolk County Gold Refinery, 631-777-CASH.
This is Tom Mealy for 1-800-INJURY LAW, and I'm going to get right to the point because you know what? When in an accident, there is no time to fool around or waste time going to firms that say, if it's not broke, there's no case. Soft tissue injury is no joke and can last longer and feel worse than a fracture. And if left unattended, you are looking at a lifetime of trouble and or pain. You are entitled to compensation. Listen, most of us on Long Island, we weren't born with a trust fund or a silver spoon in our mouth. Don't let someone tell you that it has to be broke or you need to be out of work to compensate for an injury sustained by someone's carelessness. The number you need to call is 1-800-INJURY-LAW, the Harrison Law Group. That's 1-800-INJURY-LAW. Listen, take my word for it. We're not in business to lose. We're here to protect your rights. 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
We are back with the Maverick Soul Hour, Tommy Maher. I'm sitting here with my main man, Todd Barkin. And before we go any further, I would like to say hello to Eileen. How are you, girl? I haven't seen you in many, many years. I have you sitting here with your husband. So peace to you and God blessings to you. You're a good person. And thanks for the hookup.
Oh, thank you.
We actually grew up together in the same school, so that's pretty lucky for me. So
she's a great lady.
She is a great lady. She always was.
Yeah.
Where we want to go?
Well, we're going to talk about a little bit about Miles Davis.
Okay.
Because Miles Davis is one of the most legendary people, and I had a chance to work with him, and he was a very, very dear friend for a long time. And there was a stereotype about Miles that he was a very kind of a cold-blooded, or kind of rough guy, angry, a rough, abrasive, and could be very cold. But my experience with Miles was quite the contrary. I mean, in my own life experience with him, he turned out to be one of the warmest and sensitive people that I dealt with. And I know he had his moments otherwise in his life, but my own experience with him was quite exemplary. And one of the greatest things that happened with Miles, I had him at the club in 1975, right before he went on a sabbatical of about 4 years. Mm-hmm. And he would play at the club in San Francisco on his way to or from Japan. He would warm up or he would decompress on his way back from Japan, one way or the other, because that would pay his transportation. And he had 8 or 10 or 12 people, so we couldn't afford to fly him in and out. Right. So he was playing there in 75 on his way back from Japan, and all of a sudden, I mean, his price had gone up, and we paid him the most money we'd ever paid an artist, $12,500 for 6 nights, which was a fortune in those days. Sure. And I paid him off by Saturday night. I paid him for the whole gig, and he had a road manager named Mtume, who's a famous R&B producer also, who worked with Stephanie Mills and a whole lot of, and
Stephanie Mills is
Madonna.
What a singer!
So Mtume came and got the money. In those days, the whole entire time of Keystone Corner, it was you only paid in cash. There were no checks in that era. Checks.
The Chuck Berry thing.
Yeah. You paid him in full before the end of the gig, and that was it. So I paid him in full, and then on Saturday night. On Sunday night, the road manager comes back for Miles Davis and says, Miles was thinking, we really feel like you overpaid us, like $2,500. He was adding up. You were only charging $10. You're only charging $10 a ticket. There's no way you could be making money. So they handed me back $2,500. Cool. He said, you need this. You have to pay your bills. And so that's
I'm sure he did that for the love of the music, too.
Of course. And he knew that we cared about the music.
I'm glad to hear that.
But that's just that anti-stereotype.
Right, because actually I did hear those kinds of things about him. Yeah. That he was an angry guy and all that.
But he had another side to him.
I don't judge until I meet, so.
Right. But he had another side to him, and as do many others. And he was a good soul.
Now, how do you enjoy working at Lincoln Center? And I'll have you know, one of my last jobs, I redid Lincoln Center.
Well, we're jazz at Lincoln Center, which is a constituent member of that federation. Like there's the New York Philharmonic, there's the New York Ballet, there's the Chamber Orchestra, there's the Metropolitan Opera. So they're all the youngest. The baby of it is Jazz Lincoln Center. That's been a constituent member for less than 2 decades, but it's a very important one. And we opened up our own facility in over 100,000 square feet, right at the Time Warner Center on the 5th and 6th floor. Sure. So it's been a real privilege and an honor to be even a part of that.
Oh,
I mean,
it's got to bring you back to like that night when you said, how did I do this when you were 25, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm at Lincoln Center now. It must be like a dream come true.
Well, it is, and I saw Wynton on the street, before this building had opened. I think it was in the late '90s, and he said to me, we're getting this new thing open, and we're going to have a club, and I think you should come work there. And I thought it was just a kind of a nice passing fancy that he said that. I didn't take too much stock in it till I wound up working there, and I got a call to come and see them and see what the possibility was to work there. But I was quite surprised. But it's been a labor of love, all of it. I mean, it's something to take great pride in. It's an institution that has done nothing but good works and good things in the world. So I mean, it's, as my grandma Pauline would say, what's not to like?
How could you not like that? Lincoln Center, my God, that's
Jazz at Lincoln Center. I mean, it's a part of, it's a part of New York cultural history, and it's a real challenge. It's some of the most expensive real estate in the world.
I'm sure.
But it's a dream come true, and it's a good thing. And we got you know, and it's one of the great things happening there too. There are so many great young musicians, and I just finished a recording with a fantastic young musician by the name of Joe Alterman,
who we might just happen to have in the building here tonight.
Yeah, we might. I think
maybe we should bring Joe in and
Joe Alterman. Bring
in Joe and Anthony. We're going to go to a quick commercial, and we're going to bring in these two gentlemen, and I'm going to tell you a quick little story about the both of them, and we'll be right back with the Maverick Soul. You're going to hear some beautiful stuff in a little while. Just hang in there. We'll be right back. We are back with the Maverick Soul. Tommy Maher sitting right here. I got my man Todd Barkin here, and I brought in a couple of heavy hitters here. I just want to tell you a little story. Next to Todd, we have Mr.
Joe Alterman.
Joe Alterman, which this is the new album that Joe has that Todd produced. It is called Give Me the Simple Life. So I also would like to tell you guys to go out and purchase this album because I've listened to it and it's really some good stuff. I had somebody. I'm not a big jazz guy, but I talked to a friend of mine last night that knows jazz and told me it's unbelievable. And that's my other guest. This kid. I have to call him a kid because I coached him in Little League when he was, I think, 9 or 10. Nice. And we had the team, right? Sidewinders. So I'm going to just make this quick because I don't want to take too much time up here. But Anthony Abate, I met him coaching him in Little League, and he grew up to be a fine young man. I've watched him come along. I've gone to the high school shows, whatever they want to call them, and he has blown me away. So I thought so much of him when I did hook up with Todd. I asked if I could send a video in of him playing and asked Todd just his opinion, because I mean that's the highest guy on the level, So they came back and said, he's for his age, he's great. He needs to keep working, but he's great. So Joe was kind enough to let Anthony come in, and they're going to work on a song over here live from Joe's album, which Todd produced, and I think you are all going to love it.
We're going to do Kelly's Blues?
I think we'll do Kelly's Blues.
How did you get it? How did you meet with Todd? How did you meet?
Well, I don't even know if Todd knows this, but Todd was the first, when I came to New York about 10 years ago with my dad to hear some jazz.
Where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta. We went to Dizzy's Club, and Todd was the first person of all the jazz stuff in New York I ever saw. And I came to see Bill Charlap, and that made me want to come up here. But we connected through NYU, and after working together for a few months, Todd agreed very nicely.
Well, something must be right if Todd agreed to do it. That's all I got to say. You must be doing something right, right? And Anthony, this kid's going to be awesome. I'm telling you right now. I mean, I'm not a jazz guy, but I mean, I feel in my heart. I know him as a kid. He comes from a great family. He's a good kid, and I know he's going to just never stop working and getting to where he wants to go in life. So I'm very happy to be a part of him being able to sit down with this legend and a new up-and-coming legend. And what a great way to start. So maybe we should have them go over and play a tune?
Sounds
what do you
good.
think?
Let's go do it.
Sounds great.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
All right.
We're going to go to, hold on, guys. We're going to go to a quick commercial,
Okay.
and they're going to set up, and we're going to come back live with these guys, and we're going to hear one of the songs from the album, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Anthony, in due respect, I just sent him this last night. He's just turned 16 years old, and he had to learn this from last night. So
I'm sure it's going to
we'll be back in a minute.
What is Grand Prix Motorsports? It's a full-service motorsport performance and service shop. It's West Coast custom style, East Coast pricing, old-school customer service, custom-built bikes, all-out performance upgrades, and free towing too. Grand Prix Motorsports is automobile, motorcycle, jet ski, and ATV, performance, service, and repair. It's online at GrandPrixMS.com. Grand Prix Motorsports, Long Island Avenue, Deer Park.
We are back with the Maverick Soul. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the album here. It's called Give Me the Simple Life by Joe Alterman. And we're going to hear a song called, which is on here, Kelly's Blues, and it was written by Oscar Peter. So I present live at Madhouse Studios, Kelly's Blues. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Now, that came off this album. I'm selling this album here tonight. You think it's possible we got another one over there, guys? Can we do another one?
What
do you think of that? My boy over there, 16 years old, learned that one night. What do you think about that? Give it up for that. I'll tell you what. Take me about 17 years to learn that. One night.
What are you going to do, Joe? Autumn leaves. Autumn leaves.
Autumn leaves. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something.
Cool.
I mean, that was beautiful. It was beautiful. But I am blown away that this kid didn't even hear this thing since last night. So amazing. We're going to go to a quick commercial. We're going to come back and we're going to go over and join them. We'll be right back with the Maverick Soul. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Mickey B. Join me for my Saturday Night Disco Fever Dance Party Volume 2, Saturday, October 6th, 8 p.m. at the Memorare Ballroom, 2183A Jackson Avenue, Seaford. Starring live Alicia, Barbara Roy, former lead singer of Ecstasy, Passion and Pain, the Trick Shot Disco Orchestra, and DJ Ace playing all your favorite hits of the 70s. 5-hour disco party, full hot buffet, cash bar. For tickets and information, call 516-822-9612, 516-822-9612, or MickeyB.com. Sponsored by.
I was nervous about selecting the perfect paving stones for our project.
There are so many choices, I didn't want to make a mistake.
After all, it is our home.
It had to be the most beautiful patio.
An exquisite driveway.
A stunning backyard oasis.
I chose Astro for the largest selection.
The best prices.
The magnificent displays.
The finest service and expert advice.
I chose
Astro.
Astro Masonry and Supply. Call 631-242-2567 or go to astromasonry.com.
Okay.
We are back. Ladies and gentlemen, was that amazing? I mean, let's give it up. And
Yeah. Joe and Anthony.
very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I think you got a winner there.
Yeah, he is,
And
man.
what'd you think of my boy over
Awesome.
here? To hear this
Oh,
for
it's
the
great.
first time?
Yeah.
Anthony Abate, I am so proud of you, my little boy. Oh, I tell you, I love this kid. I've loved this kid since he's 8 years old. And you're getting taller than me. That's scary. But I would like to tell everybody, go out, buy this book, Keystone Corner, Portrait of a Jazz Club. Let me just give you a good shout out from Todd. And then let's not forget the CD, Joe Alterman. Give me the simple life. I'm with that.
All right.
So I hope that, I know it's a little different for me, but I'm very proud and honored to have these guys here. I am blown away by how great musicians, jazz musicians are. I'm a rock guy, but the respect I have is incredible. And the respect that I have for you is, I mean, I have papers this thick on this man of his accomplishments in his lifetime, and it is just mind-boggling. So I would personally like to thank you so much for coming here and gracing us with yourself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wish you all the luck in the world with this.
Thank
And you know, if you need a sax player,
Yeah.
I got a hookup for you over here. And
Anthony, you sounded great, man.
I love you. I love you.
You sounded great, Anthony.
Thank you.
So we're gonna wrap it up. It's time. I'm gonna go over and get the old Maverick Souls hat.
As we used to say at Keystone Corner, bright moments.
Bright moments. Nice.
Yes, indeed.
I thank you guys so much. It's been a privilege and an honor to have you here. And you too. There,
Take care of the music, and the music will take care of you.
And come see Todd at Dizzy Gillespie's.
Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola,
Dizzy's
60th and
Club.
Broadway.
Come down. He's got some great shows. Look him up on the internet. They got some fabulous shows there. And Lincoln Center. Look up.
Jazz at Lincoln Center, Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola, 7 days a week, 7 nights a week.
So with that, we're all going to say peace. Have a great week. Come back next week. We got a hot one coming next week. Crazy one coming next week. So hang in there. You got the Maverick Soul here with Tommy Maher and my boys here. My new jazz club over here. So have a good one. I'm going to hit the old Maverick Trail. So peace to everybody. Blessings to you all. Have a great week. We'll see you next Monday. Pick up the book. Pick up the CD. And pick up anything else you might feel like it. So, good night, everybody.
Good night.